Good evening students, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we will start the biology chapter, that is your cell, the structure and functions. We will study this chapter in two parts. This is the lecture first part of this chapter, and in the next lecture we will discuss the remaining part of this chapter. So at first the chapter is your cell, the structure and functions. Now what is cell? What is cell? The cell is actually your structural and functional unit of life. Cell is actually nothing but it is the basic structural and functional unit of life. So what is cell? It is basic structural and functional unit of life. It is called basic structural and functional unit of life. Now this cell, it is taken from a Latin word. The cell word is taken from a Latin word. The Latin word is compartment. The Latin word is compartment. This is a Latin word. This is a Latin word, and cell is taken or cell is derived from this Latin word compartment. Clear? So cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life. Every living organisms, be it animals or be it plants, are composed of cells. Every living organisms means animals and plants. Living organisms means animals and plants. So every living organisms is composed of these cells. Clear? Actually the cell are of two types. The cell are of two types. One is your animal cell and second is your plant cell. One is your animal cell and second is your plant cell. So all the living organisms, whether it is animal or whether it is plant, every part of the organism will be composed of cells. It is the basic structural and functional unit of life. Like our body is made up of different organs. Our body is made up of different organs. For example, our body has brains, our body has kidneys, our body has heart, lungs, stomach, different organs. All those different organs are made up of cells. Billions, trillions of cells. Clear? Our body has different organs, and different organs are made up of different cells. That means our body consumes or composed of millions and billions of cells. There are various cells. So those cells combine together to form tissues. Those cells combine together to form tissues, and then tissues combine together to form organs, and then organs combine together to form a human body. Clear? So cell is the smallest structural and functional unit of life. Actually, structural and functional unit of all the living organisms, be it animals or plants. Now, so it is all about cell. Next, we will study discovery of cell. How cell was discovered? Discovery of cell. How cell was discovered? Now, cell is very small. Cell actually it is very small. So it cannot be seen with a naked eye. Clear? It cannot be seen with a naked eye as it is very small. Therefore, to see a cell, microscope is required. To see a cell, microscope is required. Now there are two kinds of microscope. One is your simple microscope and another one is your compound microscope. So to cell, microscope, this is an instrument, microscope is required, and there are two kinds of microscope. One is your simple microscope and one is a compound microscope. This compound microscope actually used in school laboratories or college laboratories. Compound microscope is used. Clear? So there are two microscope. One is your simple microscope and another one is your compound microscope. Now a scientist named actually Antony van Leeuwenhoek first discovered the simple microscope. The scientist name was Antony van Leeuwenhoek. Antony van Leeuwenhoek. This scientist actually first discovered the simple microscope, and the simple microscope is composed of biconvex lens. Simple microscope is composed of a biconvex lens. So Antony van Leeuwenhoek first discovered a simple microscope having biconvex lens, single biconvex lens, and he was the first to see the cell. He was the first to see the cell. The cell is your blood cell. The cell is our blood cell. That means our blood is composed of different cells. So the cells are termed as blood cells. So he discovered first simple microscope using biconvex lens and simple microscope. He studied the first blood cells. That means he studied first cells, that is your blood cells. That means if question is asked that who discovered simple microscope, your answer will be Antony van Leeuwenhoek. He is the first scientist to discover simple microscope, and he is also the first scientist to see cells, and the cell was blood cells. The cell was our blood cells. So see, he was the first scientist to discover simple microscope and first scientist to see blood cells or cells. Next, another scientist named Robert Hooke. Another scientist named Robert Hooke. He first coined the term cell. That means the term or the word cell was first used by Robert Hooke. The term cell was first used by or first coined by the scientist Robert Hooke. He actually studied the cell of cork. He actually studied the dead cell of cork. Robert Hooke actually studied the dead cell of cork. The dead cell of cork. He studied, Robert Hooke first studied the dead cell of cork, and he was the first scientist to coin the term cell. Clear? So we will remember these two scientists. One is your Robert Hooke and another one is your Antony van Leeuwenhoek. Clear? Next, cytology. Next term is your cytology. What is cytology? Cytology is the branch of biology that deals with the study of cell. Cytology is the branch of biology that deals with the study of cell. That means it is a branch of biology which actually deals with the study of cell, or simply study of cell is known as cytology. So we will write the branch of biology that deals with the study of cell. So the branch of biology that deals with the study of cell is actually your cytology. Clear? Now the cell, actually there are two types of cell. One is your animal cell and one is your plant cell, depending on the living organisms. Clear? Now cell is actually classified as your living cell and dead cell. Living cell and dead cell. Dead cell actually also known as non-living one. Now what is the difference between living cell and non-living cell? The main difference between living cell and non-living cell is the presence of protoplasm. The main difference between the living cell and non-living cell or dead cell is the presence of protoplasm. What is protoplasm? Protoplasm is a jelly-like substance. And the living cell contains this jelly-like substance which is known as protoplasm. This is a jelly-like substance. Known as protoplasm. So living cell contains protoplasm, whereas the dead cell or non-living cell doesn't contain protoplasm. So this is the main difference between living cell and non-living cell. Now what is protoplasm? Protoplasm is the living substance of the cell. What is protoplasm? Protoplasm is the living substance of a cell. So it is a jelly-like substance. And also living substance of the cell. Clear? It is living substance of cell and also the jelly-like substance. Now this protoplasm is composed of two main parts. This protoplasm is actually composed of two main parts. One is cytoplasm and second one is your nucleus. Second one is your nucleus. So protoplasm is actually composed of two main parts. One is your cytoplasm and second one is your nucleus. Clear? So this is your protoplasm. Next classification of cells. Now cells are classified according to two types. Cells are classified according to our two types. So we will study now classification of cells. Classification of cells. First classification will be your according to the numbers. First classification will be based on according to numbers. Now according to numbers, cell are of actually two types. According to numbers, cell are actually of two types. One is your unicellular, one is your unicellular. Unicellular means single celled, and the second one is your multicellular. Second one is your multicellular. Multicellular means many celled. Now unicellular is containing single cell. That means only a single cell will be present. That is your unicellular. And more than single cell, that means that will be your multicellular. Clear? So what is the example of unicellular organism or unicellular organism? What is the example? The example will be your first bacteria, unicellular organism, bacteria, yeast, amoeba, paramecium. So these are the unicellular or single celled organism. Next coming to multicellular. Multicellular actually means billions and millions of cells. Millions and billions of cells. Multicellular actually, that means millions and billions of cells. Here millions and billions of cells present. That is our multicellular. That means many celled organism. What is the example? Now example will be like human. That means we all are multicellular organisms. Human beings, that means we all are multicellular organisms. So first example will be human. Next rose. That is rose means rose flower. That is your plant cell. Clear? Next will be people. It is also a plant cell and multicellular. Next fish, frog. These are animal cells but multicellular. Next neem. That is plant cell. So these are the examples of unicellular and multicellular organisms. So this is based on according to numbers. Next according to shape. Next according to shape. So according to shape, cells are classified as according to shape. Cells are classified as according to shape. According to shape, cells are classified as first spherical or disc shaped. Spherical or disc shaped. Second, oval shaped. Second is oval shaped. Number third is your cylindrical shaped. Fourth, amoeboid shaped. Fifth, cubical, all rectangular shaped. Cubical or rectangular shaped. Clear? So all total there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 types: spherical or disc shaped, oval shaped, cylindrical shaped, amoeboid shaped, and cubical or rectangular shaped. So the example of spherical or disc shaped cell will be your RBC. RBC means red blood cell. Red blood cell, that is your spherical cell or disc shaped cell. Clear? Next, oval shaped cell. Oval shaped cell example will be Chlamydomonas. Chlamydomonas, CHLAMYDOMONAS. Chlamydomonas, this is a one type of algae. This is a one type of algae and oval shaped. Clear? Next, cylindrical. Cylindrical shaped will be your Spirogyra. Spirogyra, this is an example. This is also an algae. This is also an algae. Next, amoeboid. Example will be your amoeba. Example will be your amoeba. Next, cubical or rectangular. Example will be leaf of the plant. Leaf of the plant. This is the cell shaped, cubical or rectangular. In spite of all these cells, there are two special or uniquely shaped cells. There are extra two uniquely shaped cells. Number one is slipper shaped. Slipper shaped cells. This is the number one. And number two will be your spindle shaped. Spindle shaped. So example will be slipper shaped. Example is your Paramecium. Slipper shaped example is your Paramecium. This is a cell. Shape is slipper like. The Paramecium is a cell. Its shape is slipper style or slipper shape. Clear? Next, spindle shaped. Spindle shaped example will be smooth muscles in our body. Smooth muscles in our body. This is a cell and its shape is spindle shape. So these two, in spite of all these five shaped cells, these two are uniquely shaped cells. These two are uniquely shaped cells. Actually, cells are mainly classified according to type: spherical or disc shaped, oval, cylindrical, amoeboid, and cubical or rectangular. But in spite of all these shapes, there are extra two uniquely shaped cells. One is your slipper shaped and another one is your spindle shaped. Clear? Next, so this is the classification of cell according to numbers and according to shape. Next topic is your now we will know that there are now the question would be asked like this: name a cell which is the largest cell. Name a cell which is longest cell. Name a cell which is the smallest cell. Clear? So largest cell is your ostrich eggs. Eggs of ostrich. Ostrich is a bird and egg of ostrich will be the largest cell. Next, longest cell. Longest cell is our nerve cell. It can be length of up to 3 meter. It can be a length of up to 3 meters. So longest cell is our nerve cell. Next, smallest cell. Smallest cell are the bacteria cells. That means cells present in bacteria or cells found in bacteria. Cells found in bacteria. They are the smallest cell. Its size is approximately 0.2 to 0.5 micrometer. 0.2 to 0.5 micrometer. So these are the largest cell, longest cell and smallest cell. Next important topic, that is cell theory. There are all total 4 postulates or 4 main theory which comprises of cell theory. Clear? total 4 postulates. That is your cell theory. Now scientists, there are 3 scientists. There are basically 3 scientists. They discovered this cell theory, or they postulate this theory. The name of these 3 scientists are, one is Kilden, number 2 is Quandt, and number 3 is Virchow. So 3 scientists. Number 1 is your Kilden, number 2 will be your Quandt, and number 3 will be Virchow. So these 3 scientists postulate cell theory, which actually comprises of 4 statements. These 4 statements combinedly known as cell theory. So number 1 statement of cell theory is, every living organism is made up of one or many cells. Every living organism. So living organism can be of 2 types. One is your animal, number 2 is your plant. So every living organism must contain a cell, at least one cell or more than one cells. So the first statement will be, every living organism is made up of one or many cells. Every living organism is made up of one or many cells. Next, statement number 2. Statement number 2 says, the cell is the structural unit of all living organisms. The cell is the structural unit of all the living organisms. Second statement, the cell is the structural unit of all living organisms. The cell is the structural unit of all living organisms. Next, number 3, the statement is, the cell is the functional unit of all living organisms. So number 3 statement will be, the cell is the functional unit of all living organisms. So one is structural and the third one is your functional. Next, last statement, that is 4th statement is, all cells arise from the pre-existing cells. All the cells creates or bonds from the pre-existing cells. That means the 4th statement is, all cells arise from the pre-existing cells. So these are the 4 statements of cell theory. We will study these 4 statements because questions can be asked, write the cell theory, then we will write all these 4 statements. This is your cell theory. Next, now how plants and how animals cells function. That is, in plants there are 2 types of cells. In plants there are 2 types of cells. One is our root cells and another is your leaf cells, and they function specifically. Their function is specific. Now first case, in plants. So plants basically comprises of 2 cells. One is the root cells and another one is our leaf cells. So what is the function of root cells? The main function of root cells, now root cells present in the roots. Now root cells are present in the roots, and we know that roots are present under the soil. The roots of the plants are present under the soil. That means there in roots, root cells are present, and the function of root cell is to absorb water and minerals from the soil. Its function is to absorb water and minerals from the soil. So the function of root cell is absorption of water and minerals from soil. So root cells will absorb water and minerals from the soil and transfer this water and soil to upwards, so that all the parts of the plant get this water and minerals. Clear? So this is the function of root cell. Next, function of leaf cell. What is the function of leaf cells? The function of leaf cell is actually the manufacture of food or prepare food. The main function of leaf cell is to manufacture or prepare food. Now we know that leaf is the part of a plant where food is manufactured or food is prepared. And how food is prepared? To prepare food, this water and minerals are required. Two components, water and minerals, are required for the preparation of food, and water and minerals are provided by the root cells. Clear? So it is the actually water and minerals, that is the raw materials required to manufacture of food, and one extra material required also for the manufacture of food, that is the chlorophyll. That is the chlorophyll. What is chlorophyll? Chlorophyll actually is the green pigment present on the leaves. That's why leaves looks green in color. The main reason of the leaf to be green is that chlorophyll is present on leaves. Chlorophyll is present on the leaves. That's why leaf looks green. So the component chlorophyll is required for the preparation of or for the manufacture of food. Now chlorophyll is the green pigment. It present on the leaves, and the function of chlorophyll is to capture the sunlight or to utilize the sunlight. Clear? The main function of chlorophyll is to capture or to utilize the sunlight and water and minerals, and using carbon dioxide they prepare food. That means the raw material is your water and minerals, and chlorophyll present on leaves, it captures the sunlight and utilizes the sunlight, and using water, minerals and carbon dioxide it prepares food. That's why sometimes leaf is called the kitchen of the plant. Leaf is sometimes called the kitchen of the plant, and this whole process, that means the preparation of food, the process by which leaf actually prepares food, is known as photosynthesis. So what is photosynthesis? That is, it is a process by which plant or specifically leaf prepare food from water, minerals and carbon dioxide and chlorophyll. They prepare food, and the process is known as photosynthesis. Clear? So this is the function of root cells and leaf cells present in plants. Now in case of animals also there are cells, and they have specific functions. So in animals, number one is your muscle cells. So the function of muscle cell is to movement of body parts. The main function of muscle cells is to movement of body parts. That means you can move your legs, you can move your hand. That means the movement of body parts. That is the function of our muscle cells. So its function is movement of body parts, and it has also one additional function, that is the muscle cells helps to relax and contract the muscles. Muscle cells helps to relax and contract the muscles. So its second function is helps to relax and contraction of muscles. So number one, muscle cells. Number two is your nerve cells. Number two is nerve cells. What is the function of nerve cells? The main function of nerve cell is to transfer messages or carry messages. Clear? The main function of nerve cell is to carry or conduction or transfer of messages in the form of impulse. So its function is carry messages in the form of impulses. Clear? So nerve cells. Number three is our gland cells. So function of gland cell is cells of various gland which secretes enzyme to digest food. That means gland cells actually secretes enzymes Gland cells actually secretes enzymes, and finally it helps to digest our food. That means the food we ate is digested by enzymes which are secreted from gland cells. So gland cells helps to digest the food. So gland cells, they secrete enzymes, which helps to digest the food. Clear? And lastly, last cell is our skin cells. Last cell is our skin cells. Last cell is our skin cells. Now what is skin? The outermost part of the body. The outermost part or outermost body is actually our skin. So that is a skin cell. Its main function of the skin cell is to protect the body from external damages. This is the main function. That means the main function is the protect the body from external damages. Number one. Second function of skin cell is to maintain the body temperature. To maintain our body temperature. That means the second function is to maintain the body temperature. Third function, what is the third function of skin cell? The third function is to protect us from germs and UV rays. To protect us from germs and ultraviolet rays or UV rays. That means to protect from germs and ultraviolet rays, or you can say UV rays. So these are the 4 types of cells present in animals. Number 1, muscle cells. Number 2, nerve cells. Number 3, gland cells. And number 4, skin cells. Clear? So that's all for today. In the next session we will cover the remaining topics. There are 3 to 4 more topics. So we will complete the rest of the topic in the next session, and we will do some question answer, and the chapter will complete. Thank you.